Hey, this is Peter and
Dave Krusen
with Sons of Silver, and you're listening to Nothing Shocking Podcast.
We're putting the band back together.
The numbers all go to 11.
I'm talking about bands that rock. Led Zeppelin. What about Sabbath? AC/DC. Motorhead.
Does that mean it's louder? Is it any louder?
Well, it's one louder, isn't it?
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
I get up off the ground and raise my head. Days like this, think I should be dead. One for Satan, two for me. Let's cheat the devil, it's fun, don't you agree?
Welcome to the Nothing Shocking Podcast. I'm your co-host, Jeff Untied, and with me in Dog Bowl Studios is my co-host,
Coach Nez.
You can find the Nothing Shocking Podcast on Libsyn or any podcatchers. You can find us on Facebook or Twitter at No Shock Pod.
You can also find the Nothing Shocking Podcast on Rock Rage Radio every Tuesday evening at 10 p.m. Central Time. Our sponsor is Ragged Records, located in beautiful downtown Rock Island, Illinois, soon to be returning to beautiful downtown Davenport, Iowa, right across the Mississippi River. Blah. Anyway, our guests tonight are
the band The Sons of Silver, featuring Peter Argyropoulos and Dave Krusen.
Yeah, and these two fellas are of past fames from, notably, we've had Dave Krusen from Pearl Jam.
Yep,
and Candlebox, and Pete Argyropoulos from...
he was in the band the last December in the late 90s.
Yeah. So two very progressive musicians with great stories, great information. I think we caught them off guard with a couple of the questions.
Yeah.
I think they weren't really prepared for our complex questions. That's okay.
No, it was fun, and we really appreciate them. It's a really exciting new band. They got pretty good rock sound coming, that something kind of a little jolt that we need right now, I think. And
the new EP is Doomsday Noises.
Yeah, Doomsday Noises. It's a digital EP out there on Apple iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your digital.
And I don't quite remember, when did they say we should be expecting a hard copy of Doomsday Noises?
They're hoping sometime next year. They didn't give an exact date, but just hoping in 2021.
Ah, very good. Yeah. All right. Well, we want to thank the Sons of Silver for sending us band merchandise for their involvement with the Nothing Shocking Podcast. So that was very generous of them. We want to give a big thanks to them and their management team. With that being said, is there anything else that we need to share?
Just they have a couple other, what do you call that, digital singles out there. Never Enough, their newest one, Quarantined in California. They also shot a promotional video for. Check them out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as we could hear in the distance, my wife yelling for the dog. So everybody heard my wife yelling for one of our dogs. But anyway, let's get to this interview tonight. And that's about it.
All right.
Good night.
For more information on Sons of Silver, go to their website, sonsofsilver.com. They have a live stream coming December 17th at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific time.
Hello, Peter.
Yeah, Eric?
Yes.
Cool.
All right.
I got Dave here. Hey.
Hi, Dave.
How's it going?
Hey, good. Welcome to the Nothing Shocking Podcast, Peter and Dave. I'd like to introduce you to my co-host, Jeff Untied.
Hey, guys. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Very good. Well, let's get right in the first question here. And I guess maybe you guys can maybe take turns as the questions go on, decide who wants to answer what question. But with COVID-19 being at the forefront of everyone's life, how have you both been dealing with the pandemic professionally and personally?
Well, I'll jump on that first then. Professionally, we've, we like everyone else, we were pretty hunkered down for the first few months, communicating, in traditional ways, phone, text, and the likes. Mm-hmm. We even managed to remotely record a song, which was a first for us, a song called Quarantined in California, which I sort of sketched out on acoustic guitar, sent over to Dave, and before I knew it, Dave had sent it off to Adam for some bass. Adam had sent the tracks to Kevin for some guitars, and Kevin got it back to Breen and I. My wife, Breen, is our keyboardist and engineer. Mm-hmm. And we were able to make a song, get it out, and you know, get a nice little thing to do during this crisis. And then, you know, that sort of got us back into saying, hey, you know what, we got to push through this. And we got back in the studio. We've been in the studio since July, working on a bunch of new tracks that we're going to be putting out next year. And personally, you know, just like everyone else, sort of just going with the flow right now, and taking each day that comes, and looking forward to some degree of normalcy and getting back out on the road.
Fantastic.
Yeah. For some of our listeners that might not know, who are the members of your band?
I guess you want me to take that one, Dave?
Yeah.
So there's myself, Peter Argyropoulos. I'm the lead singer and play guitar. And there's Dave Krusen, our drummer. And there's Adam Curry, our bassist, Kevin Holland, lead guitarist, and Brina Kabler, our keyboardist.
Nice.
Oh, very cool. Your newest EP is available on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Pandora, and Deezer. Will your fans be able to purchase this EP as a tangible product, as far as, you know, ordering it through online or maybe at any existing record stores that are still out there?
Yeah, we expect to have vinyl and potentially CDs in the spring. Since it was an EP, we've held off on it with being an EP and not being on the road. We've held off from producing any physical for right now, since, you know, nearly everything is consumed digitally these days. Digitally being through Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, so on and so forth. But again, once we get on the road, we'll have some physical with us, some stuff that people can, you know, sort of add to their, you know, their bookshelf and the like.
Oh, very good. This is kind of a more of an argument as far as the EP versus LP these days. When releasing new music, it seems to be, you know, a hot topic. A lot of bands are releasing EPs instead of full-length LPs. It just seems like it's more economical, I guess, maybe for this present time. Or a lot of bands are just releasing online singles. Where in the landscape of everything with this, I guess, besides COVID-19, but just music industry being the way it is, how do you see this being a way for the Sons of Silver to produce music? Would it be better to do it more EP-ish or by singles, or is the goal to release full-length LPs for you guys?
I don't know. Do you want to take that one, Dave, or you want me to? You want to take turns on it?
Well, I mean, we've had some stuff ready to go for an EP, right? So we just kind of stayed on that track just because, isn't that right?
Yeah.
A couple of things we've done, it just kind of worked out better timing-wise.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's easier to digest for the industry. It's easier for fans to, especially for a new band, a new act, to digest, as opposed to giving them a full length, which, you know, rarely do people ever sit and listen to a full length these days. And for us, like Dave was saying, you know, we actually had about a dozen songs to choose from for the Doomsday Noises EP. But we narrowed it down to a batch that we thought was going to be a good first representation of us, and that's not even necessarily all the best songs that we had to choose from, but just a good first step. And so that's what we had, and that's what we went with, and now we've got another batch of 10, 15 songs to choose from for the next EP. And in fact, Brina's in the other room right now because I'm at the studio today, and she's mixing some of those tracks right now.
Awesome.
I guess maybe on the outside of Sons of Silver, being the industry what it is, do you see artists, bands such as yourself, or in any genre, maybe gearing themselves more toward the EP format these days or in the future, considering, you know, full-length LPs are more expensive to make, and being what physical copies are, they don't sell like they used to, just the sign of the times. How do you guys...
I still have the CD.
Yeah, me too.
I hope you stick with it.
How's that work out for you guys?
I don't know. What do you think, Dave?
We've talked about it. Like coming up with something more like not like a concept album, but we've thrown around the idea of like having something that's like, you know, some longer songs and really like stretching some jams out or something like that and putting together, you know, if it fit together, if it was an hour's worth of stuff that really seemed to go together, and like we shouldn't break this up. It's like a set, you know, of music, and we talked about doing it in that case. But otherwise, I don't know. We really aren't. We're just really cranking out so much music. When we get together, we work. Like, I mean, we have a good time and everything, but we really get a lot done. It's kind of crazy, you know?
Yeah.
We've got all this music. We got to put something out, you know what I mean? It's like, so that, but I agree with Pete. It's like, I like having, especially these days, like a little less to digest when I'm checking a band out. You know, like a couple of songs or 4 or 5 songs. To me, I'm really enjoying that. Just because the other aspect I think that goes along with it is there's so much more music right now, you know, than there used to be. There's so many more bands. I mean, it's exponentially grown, which is great. I think it's amazing. You know what I mean? It's like, you're gonna, you know, whatever. It's just the more the merrier. But, yeah, it's just kind of easier to take in, I think.
Yeah, I agree. You know, and like Dave was saying, we've definitely thrown around the idea of doing, you know, some type of concept album, or at least a batch of songs that sort of weave, you know, from get go. They have we have an agenda, but we've just been in a mode right now where we're just cranking out songs that innately, because we're writing them at the same time and we write collectively, they have common themes to them, they have common feels, or at least in batches we'll have like 3 or 4 songs that have a really good synergy, that, you know, so we sort of build our EPs around those, and we stick to the EPs because of the digestibility, but also because we're so busy that to go and finish an album, and then do all the marketing around us and the artwork, the videos and the press and things like that, it would be kind of overwhelming for us right now, to be honest with you. Yeah. So, we want to stick to smaller batches, and we want to get back out on the road as soon as possible.
Yeah, very good. That's awesome. Yeah, I really love the new Doomsday Noises EP. I've been having a hard time getting it out of my off my phone playing this week. It's,
awesome! Thank you.
Yeah, how do you classify your sound? I mean, Eric and I were trying to talk about that a little bit. We were talking about rock and roll, you know, a little bit of what would you call it, Eric?
What do you want? The classification of rock and roll?
A little bit of classification. How would you guys classify your sound?
Rock and roll?
Yeah, that's what I would call it that, for sure.
I love that. Read them their rights. Was there any story behind that?
The story with Read 'em. That was one of the typical songs that we came up with in the studio while jamming. I think we were working on a batch of ideas that particular day, and there was sort of a pause in the moment. And I think Kevin and Adam were discussing an idea that we were working on. We tend to work quickly. We'll work on things for 15, 20 minutes. And if we're not really gelling with it, either A, we've sort of segued into another idea naturally, or B, we kind of shelve whatever we were working on and pick up something else. But in this case, there was a pause, and I started playing what was a very rudimentary version of the main riff, the da-da-da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-dum thing. Mm-hmm. And Dave, I don't know if you remember this, Dave, but you just jumped in and just started going wacka, 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 doing the double time thing on the snare there. And for me, I'm like looking over at Dave, and I'm seeing like this image of Charlie Watts and, the mid-60s playing Satisfaction. And so, next thing I knew, Adam and Kevin had jumped right in, and we were off and running. And Brina is not only our keyboardist, but she's also our engineer. So she's in the other room recording it all and getting excited. And I think we put really all of it together. 30 minutes, Dave? Maybe?
Yeah, that one really did flow quickly. It was nice. It's like, you work really hard and, like, we might, like, work on an idea for a while. I mean, yeah, right about the time we decide to, like, just give it a rest, we'll go in and something will just, like, pop out of nowhere and it'll be like, boom. And then, we've got something really tangible in an hour. So it's great. And, being able to record, I mean, when we're not just rolling, Pro Tools, it's like we have such a great setup to record with. We're very lucky. So if we get something, pretty much it's, the quality that we could then mix and put out. It's great.
Yeah, which is a good point. In fact, on the newest batch of songs we're working on, we have a few songs that, were, like we'll work up a song and we'll get it to a point where, okay, let's make the best recording we can make of this for the day, and then sit on it for a couple of days, absorb it, and we'll go in and track the final version after that. Mm-hmm. And it just so happened to be, again, in the last couple of months here, a number of songs we worked on, it was sort of the last demo of the song that we ended up keeping. We went back in and we're like, there's no way we can beat that. The energy, the vibe, done, moved on from there. So that's kind of fun. Yeah, Dave's right. We're really lucky that we can do that.
Fantastic. I recently read an article about the band, and the band was labeled on this internet website as LA's alternative rockers. And, to me, I get tired of the label of rock and roll, all these ridiculous subgenres. We had Tony Demolition Man Dolan from Venom on years ago, and he's so sick of the label. He's like, hey, we are a rock and roll band. We're just a heavy rock and roll band. Do you guys get tired of, the quote unquote label, this band has got to be an alternative rock band? When I think of alternative band, I'm thinking of Bauhaus or something like that of the 80s. You guys, to me, are just a kick-ass rock band. So, as far as labels go, do you feel like it's kind of unjust to give your band a label? Just say it's rock and roll and be done with it?
I don't know. What do you think, Dave?
I don't know. I don't know. It's a good question, actually, because you got us both stumped.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't ever think about the genre thing too much. But I do remember an alternative became a thing. I remember that. I go way back, but I remember that. I remember when emo happened. I remember I saw these things, and it's like, and it's hard to keep up with. I can keep up with it. I don't know the terminology, but yeah, I don't mind alternative. It's all right. But then at this late stage, like, alternative to what,
Yeah.
But I don't mind. I certainly don't mind it. I'm all right with it. And Bauhaus, they're amazing. Yeah. So.
I was going to say that's look, if someone wants to throw us in a group, in that group, so to speak, I'll take that. Not that I think we sound anything like that.
Nothing like that.
No, it's a great compliment. But I would add that, to me, I personally don't really pay much attention to genres other than, for me, I'm dealing with a lot of the business end with our label and so to speak. So I have to handle those things a little bit more than I otherwise would normally want to. And I just say, like, we started out the show, and like we've said a couple times now, that we're just a rock and roll band for no other reason that it's a little vague, it's a little nostalgic, but it's also something that feels a little fresh again, because it's simple, and in that sense, we're simple. I mean, what you hear is what you see is what you hear is what you get with us, if that makes any sense. You have 5 people playing, each playing an instrument, a couple people singing, and that's it. And we put that on our recordings, and we call it a day. And it makes it so when we go to play live, or we'll make it when we return to playing live, that people are going to hear the stuff as we recorded, just with the extra energy and exuberance of playing live.
That's so cool. Yeah, good, Jeff.
One of the things that I miss about the physical product is the liner notes and the artwork and stuff like that. So with the digital copy, it's a little harder to figure out. But what is your guys' writing process as far as writing credits, or does all the band members contribute, or is there a principal songwriter?
No, we we're all credited. This is a group effort. I mean, no doubt.
Anything else you want to elaborate?
We split everything evenly. We're communists. Not for everything else. Don't anyone get any wild ideas.
Yeah.
That was the long pause.
Yeah.
All right, off to the next question.
Sure.
With the pandemic being what it is, it has strained bands' recording process. Has the recording process for you guys during this pandemic, has it changed at all? Or with the use of technology, what it is, Dropboxing, email attachments, what have you, has it really made a difference at all on the way you guys approach the recording process?
Nope.
Yeah, we're super lucky in that sense. We can say that for sure. No, it hasn't affected us really, has it?
No.
In a way,
it's better.
Yeah, we've been having everybody being home. We really have once again gotten a lot done.
Yeah.
Probably even more than we would have.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah, we're lucky because we have our own studio. We have a really nice studio, and it's everything's. We all live relatively nearby each other, so we're all within 30, 40 minutes of each other or of the studio, so we can work every day if we want, and some weeks we do. We kind of go in and out. We'll kind of work a lot for a few weeks, get a bunch of songs together, then we'll do some overdubs, some vocals, some mixing, and then we'll dive into the next batch. In the meantime, we squeeze in live streaming, we squeeze in interviews, so on and so forth. But having the recording studio can't be underestimated, understated how significant it is for us, and likewise being nearby each other.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah.
You had touched upon the live streaming. We had Ricky Warwick on a few weeks ago, or actually maybe going on 2 months ago. But actually, he's doing that those living room shows where he's playing them once a month, like $5 a ticket to go to watch them online. Is it something that you guys, I guess depending on this pandemic and how long it's going to last, is it something that you're entertaining doing as far as playing like these living room shows where you can charge people $5 to watch you guys play for 45 minutes or what have you?
We've done streams live.
Yeah, we've live streamed a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to charge people yet. I mean, I think I forget how many people we had viewing live on our first show. I think it was around 500. Live viewer, people actually watching us as we were performing. That was the end of September. And then we did another one a few weeks ago at the end of October. And I think watching live, we had around 750, 850 people for that one, maybe a little bit more. But then within a couple days, we'd had around 20,000 views.
Oh,
and that was without any promotions behind it. So yeah, it's there for us. I guess we wanted to charge folks, but we just really want to reach as many people as we can right now. We know everyone's as hard pressed for cash as us, but we'll ding them down the road.
Yeah.
We're not, like I said, we're not true communists.
Yeah. As far as those social distancing live shows where they are putting people like in pods, a group of 4 and 5 people, is it something that you guys will consider as far as the pandemic goes? How's that going to work for you?
I'll let Dave take that one.
You stumped us again.
Yeah, no comment.
Well, it's kind of weird because we've had quite a few guests that have partaken in these social distancing shows. They'll play a 500 seat venue, and they're putting people in and they'll maybe have 100 people there, and they put them in groups of 4 and 5. And I guess maybe artists are taking that something better than nothing. Is it something that you guys would consider?
I'd do it. I'd do it if it's like they were going to play on this field. You know what I mean? They're going to be like 300 people scattered around the hillside. I'd be like,
Mm-hmm.
I'd do it if Dave wanted to do it, and everyone, I'd do it. Yeah. I look at, what we could do? I've thought about it. We could make it a political rally so we can have as many people there as we want, and simultaneously a vaccination rally. So,
I love a vaccine, man.
So everyone goes for a vaccine and for protest, and it's a non-denominational political protest. So, and non-confrontational. That's you can't confront, and you have to be committed to nothing. And likewise, you get a vaccine, and we have a 10% surcharge that goes to the band for the charge of the vaccine. How's that sound?
That sounds fantastic. Now, will people need to bring their insurance cards when they come to the show?
Of course. I mean, the government's going to foot the bill, actually, so they should just bring their social security card or ID.
Go ahead, Jeff.
So you spoke earlier of your quarantine in California remote recording. That was pretty cool. I remember I did watch that this week. And then I also, today I saw a Read 'em Their Rights. You had a live video of that. Can you talk a little bit about your video recordings as far as your process for making a video for a song?
For Read 'em, or just in general?
Well, just in general.
Any thoughts on that, Dave?
Well, I mean, no. I just show up and do what I'm told.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a bit of the story, because I guess I did have to be the unofficial producer, taking the lead on those videos. So, Read 'em Their Rights. Yeah. That was composite video, or I should say a video comprised of live footage, in particular footage that I grabbed while we were on stage. So I would take my iPhone out at the end of a show, and I would video the crowd, and sometimes I would even hand my phone to someone in the audience who I didn't think would run off with my phone. And and we captured some footage that way, and then it was some behind the scenes footage that we had gathered over the previous time period of us just shooting stuff in the studio and the likes of that. So, frankly, that was originally intended to just be a promo video for press, perhaps for booking agents. And once it got in the hands of the folks at Universal, they were like, "Hey, we're going to release this." And I said, "Well, what do you mean release it?" And then they said, "We're going to release it as a music video." And I was like, well, what about doing a real music video? And I said, this is a real one now. And next thing I know, we all knew it was out. So that's how that happened. And for our latest video, music video, that is Deep Division, which was just released, I believe, on the 18th of November. Yeah. That was actually one that we all talked about ahead of time, and threw around a bunch of ideas, and we had a concept for. It involved a lot of walking and being outdoors and the likes of that. And clearly that wasn't a very good idea, because being outdoors, walking around a bunch of people in the streets, that wouldn't be very easy to shoot in current times. So when we brought the idea to our director and videographer, a guy named Ryan Calavano, who's done all our lyric videos, by the way, we threw away that idea and came up with the idea of sort of a we call it Twilight Zone-ish type of vibe, an intro to Twilight Zone. And at that point, we were really all in his hands. He has a green screen and black screen at his home, and we all went over there one afternoon and basically said, "Brian, do your thing. You kind of know what we want," and that was it. And so it really gives him a lot of credit, as well as Brina for overseeing the project.
Oh.
That Dave and I had very little to do with that.
Yeah. Very cool. All right, so we have one last question for you. This is a curveball question. And so today, I hope you guys are ready. This is a tough one.
We only like fastballs. We love baseball, but we like fastballs a little up, you know.
This one's going to come in really tight inside. So here, are you ready? All right. Today, Neil Peart's 2112 drum kit has gone up for auction on eBay. The owner, I believe he's from Chicago. He bought it for $25,000 about 10 years ago. The owner's hoping to get $100,000 out of it soon.
Oh God.
Yeah. So that being said, since we have a drummer on on this interview, what are your thoughts on this piece of rock and roll history? Is it worth $100,000?
It's worth whatever somebody's willing to pay.
Exactly.
Straight up.
Well.
Yeah, man. If you can get $100,000 for it, good for it. Good. It's the 2112 drum kit. I mean, if I were, if I happened along somewhere, I'd buy it. Even if I had a spare. But yeah, that's steep. But see, to me, it's like you get a drum set, you get all this stuff. People are buying guitars for more than that, and it's like it's just a guitar, and you're not going to play. You're going to stick it under your bed. So, in that sense, I'm down.
Well, I know it was. Go ahead.
Oh no! I say, I mean, I'm kind of with Dave. It's, first of all, the price is whatever someone's willing to pay, and if you can afford it,
and you're going to play that kit. You know what I mean? You're not going to not play that kit. You're going to be like learning every fill.
Oh yeah,
that you can. So
yeah, I mean, think about it this way too. If you get inspiration out of it, that let's say you're a professional, right? Yes. Even if you're not, but let's say you get some type of inspiration from that particular instrument, and you blow out a bunch of songs or pieces of ideas that become songs out of it, and you quote unquote profit from them. Well, at that point, that's a really good investment because the drum set probably retains its value, and you've made some money by creating all these new songs out of it. So it can be a win-win thing. Now, I would say this: it's also a very high-grade problem to be able to go and pay $100,000 for the drum kit.
Absolutely. Well, that was the last question we had for you guys for the evening. We want to thank you so much for your participation. Before we let you go tonight, is there anything that we did not cover for promotion or plugging for you guys? Is there something that we forgot?
No, not that I'm aware of. You, Dave?
No, that was very thorough.
Well, Well, fantastic. So this is how it's going to work. We have about 2 interviews ahead of yours. So we're looking at about 2.5 weeks before this will be all edited. Jeff here is our editing wizard. And when it comes out, I will send the link to you, Peter, right away. That way you guys can have it. And please share it wherever you can. I'll also send it to your PR people. And like I said, we want to thank you so much for your participation, both of you.
Yeah, we're really enjoying the new band and looking forward to what you guys got coming in the future.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we really appreciate it. It's great to be on your show. I'm glad to hear your show's growing so fast. It's awesome to hear.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to add, we'd love to send you guys some Sons of Silver swag.
Fantastic. We want to thank you so much for that. We appreciate it.
Very excited.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, we really enjoyed talking to you tonight.
It's been fantastic.
Likewise, guys. You do well. Have a great Thanksgiving, and hang in there.
Yeah. Right. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll be in touch.
I hope to see you guys soon.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Exactly.
Everybody grinds the stone and makes their own mistakes. Hide in the headlights, fight the grip of fear. You can make your dreams come true, but you just can't do it here. tongue and pays their bills instead. Hide in the spotlights, fight the grip of death. You can have the air you need, but you best not take one breath. Hey. Roll the dice. Take your chances. Everybody knows the game is fixed, there is no prize. Everybody pulls the plug and says their last goodbyes. Move to the sunshine, fight the grip of nights. If they ever take from you, then you plug out